The next story to influence change, to sell change, is the success story pattern. When done well, this pattern lets your prospect imagine themselves as one of your clients. They can see themselves as an open legacy client. Now, there's a bit of confusion with success stories because a lot of people think case studies when we say success stories, but case study is really something different, and I'll show you the difference. Here from your Open Legacy website is a particular case study, and it starts off in this classic pattern. Here was the challenge, this is the solution, this is the result. Here is the mess our client was in, we came in and gave them this solution, and this is what's happening now. And the problem with this structure is it's hard for your prospect to imagine themselves in that story because really it's the vendor, it's Open Legacy that's the hero of that story. There's a few other problems. This is very complex, abstract language that's being used here. It's not that easy to imagine yourself there. So let's look at an alternative way to do it. With the success pattern, we start by talking about your client. We explain what's the challenge that they're in, what it is that they're trying to solve, and then how did they meet your company? How did you work together on a plan? What things did you not want to go wrong? And then finally, how did they achieve success? And what was the personal success? So let's have a go at doing it that way. So Credit Corp Bank is one of the largest banks in Panama. They've got 26 branches. They've been running since 1992. And recently the Panama Canal Authority put out a tender for a payments application, software application interface and web service so that people out in the ships coming into the canal could easily pay for the transit through the canal, and the app would decide whether or not they were allowed to go through the canal because there's a blacklist of ships and ship types that are not allowed through the canal. So this little app would easily tell them, yes, you can go through the canal, schedule their time and allow them to pay. Now, when David Martinez saw this tender, he knew that there was a problem because he was in charge of the architecture for the bank's internal architecture, and he knew that their systems were pretty clunky, and to put this kind of thing onto what was really a very old mainframe banking system wasn't going to be easy, and he thought about whether they should bid. But Open Legacy, an Israeli-US company, had been working in the bank to transform the access to their old systems using what are called microservices. And they were on a project to develop around 230 of these microservices to link up 40 of their different systems. So David had a chat with the Open Legacy people on site and said, what do you think about this tender? Could we do this kind of thing? And our guy said, yeah, of course, that's easy. We can easily hook that into your systems. We can make that so it can run on an app on the ships. Not a problem at all. And David's thinking, yeah, well, you say that, but if this doesn't work, we're talking about global trade. It's not just that the economy of Panama might break down if we can't get payments for the ships, but we're talking about a huge proportion of global trade coming through the Panama Canal. Do we want to commit ourselves to that kind of risk? But anyway, he was pretty confident in what our people had been doing, and we helped with the tender, and they won. They won the tender. They're not the biggest bank in Panama, but they won that. And today, 14,000 ships per year, 235 million tons of cargo is paid for through the Panama Canal on our systems, on Open Legacy systems. And Credibank Panama was voted the most innovative bank of 2021 in Panama. And David was delighted. His architectural skills once more come to the fore. As the chief architect, he was able to bring a brand new solution to his bank, thanks to Open Legacy.